Hello and welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you how to very quickly and easily cite and manage your references in LaTeX. Before we begin, there are 3 prerequisites that must be in place. Number 1, you must have installed a distribution of Linux on your desktop or laptop. I'm a Windows 10 user, so I recommend Bibtex on Windows 10. It's also available for Mac and Linux. However, I'm a Mac user as well, and my preferred installation on Mac is Bibtex, which is available here. There are many flavors and variants of Linux, but invariably it's a one-line command installation from the command line terminal. Here's an example of how to install a LaTeX installation on Ubuntu Linux. Okay. The second prerequisite is that you must have installed a LaTeX editor or integrated development environment, integrated writing environment. I highly recommend TexStudio. It's also available for Windows, Mac and Linux. So you can see Windows, there's so many different variants. There's a variant for most of the popular variants of Linux. And lastly, there's a Mac OS version as well. And this is also open source and free. And finally, I recommend the third prerequisite is that you download and install the JabRef open source bibliography reference manager. This is what we're going to use to manage our references. It's fantastic. There are so many features. So you can search the web from it. It can support pretty much every bibliographic format and so on. And lastly, and most important of all, it's available for Windows, Mac and Linux. You have native installers, but as it happens, I have the Java runtime environment installed on my computer, so I'm going to download the Java jar file. Perfect. Which will run on Windows, Mac and Linux. Okay. So JabRef has been successfully downloaded to my downloads folder. Excellent. So next step, let's open up TexStudio. Let's create a very basic document. So from the wizard, select Quick Start. I'm going to choose the default options, article 10 point, graphics package. I'm going to leave in my name. Perfect. Select OK. So basically it writes a very basic document for us. Fantastic. Okay, let's complete our working LaTeX document. Let's type in a title. So let's use the title command. Title, I suppose why not call it citing and managing references in LaTeX. Very good. And lastly, we want the title to appear, so we have to use the make title command. And there we go. Now I just like to separate my code or my text into different blocks so we can clearly see what's what. So the document class is here, our packages are here, and then the block of text relating to the title, and then our begin document. Perfect. So why not just type one line of text. This is some text. Okay, very simple. And last but not least, let's save the document. And I'm going to choose the default name into the C temp folder, fine. And then generate it, build and view. And there's our document. Excellent. If we wish to hide a date or for the date not to appear, all we have to simply do is give the date command and pass it no parameters. Save that and generate. And as you can see, the date is no longer there. Great. So the next step is, let's consider that we now want to cite an article. So the first thing we need to do is to create a new bibliography Bibtex file. So I'm going to navigate to where I've installed JabRef and simply double click it to run it. So I'm going to minimize that now, and that's currently loading. Since I've just downloaded, it probably takes a little bit longer than normal, and it's running in the background. There it is, I beg your pardon. Perfect. So we can select File, New Bibtex Library. Great. So before I go any further, I'm going to save the file, save the library. So save library as, I'm going to save it my C temp folder. I'm going to simply call it my references or my ref, and it's going to automatically have an extension called .bib. Save that. Perfect. So the typical workflow whenever you want to cite an article is, first of all, you'll have to get the article information. It's Bibtex information. So how would you do that? Well, typically you would go to Google Scholar. So let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to search for an article. So I'm going to click on Google Scholar here, and it brings me to the Google Scholar homepage. So I'm going to search for an article. It's there that I've co-authored myself. So I've searched for scooter space XML, and there's an article I wrote before. Perfect. So if I want to cite this article, under each article, you'll notice there's a quote symbol under every article. So if you simply click on the quote symbol, as I'm doing now, and the cite tooltip appears, up comes the various different types of citations that you may use. Well, we're going to simply select Bibtex, and it brings us to a web page, a temporary web page that contains the Bibtex information. And all you have to do is literally highlight it all and select it, and then press Ctrl+C to copy, or right click and select copy. Perfect. Then we go back to our Bibtex file, i.e. JabRef. We click on the new icon here, and up comes a tooltip, new Bibtex entry. Perfect. Click on that. Which one is it? Well, it was in proceedings. Let me just go back to show you. It was of type in proceedings, here you can see it. Perfect. So I'm just going to make sure I've copied it again. Go back to Bibtex, select new as I've just done, and then in proceedings, select that. Perfect. Now we can manually type in the information that you want here, but it's much easier to simply select the Bibtex source and then select Ctrl+A and then Ctrl+V to paste in what you've already copied earlier. Now if you go back to required fields, you can see all the information is populated. Fantastic. Now we have a little warning here in the orange, so I'm going to put my mouse over it. It said names are not in the standard Bibtex format. Fine, so I'm going to right click and choose normalize the Bibtex name format. Now before I click, just observe it so we can see what changes it'll make. And it just inserted a full stop there. Perfect. And the orange tooltip under title, capital letters are not masked using curly braces. Basically, it's telling us that when we cite this, case sensitivity will be lost. So to guarantee or to preserve case sensitivity, simply enclose the entire string or title in open and close curly braces as I've just done there. Perfect. So I'm going to save that now. So we now have our first entry inside our bibliographic manager, JabRef. Great. The next step is to inform our LaTeX document that this bibliographic file, the Bibtex file, myref.bib, actually exists. Okay, so to do that, we switch to TexStudio, and then just before end document, this is where I recommend you place it, we issued a command, or type the command /bib, and if you type /bib, you'll see various options for autocomplete arrives, so /bibliography, that's what we want, and then the parameter it takes is the name of the bib file, so myref. Note, you don't put the extension, so the file is called myref.bib, we simply type myref. Perfect, so I'm going to save that. Lastly, you need to specify also a bibliographic style. Now, how do you know what style you should use? Well, it actually depends on what document class you're using. So you might legitimately ask, how do I know what styles are available for what class? Very good question. I will show you that in the bonus section at the end of this video. So perfect. So let's continue. Let's actually type /bib and choose the style. Now, as it happens, the style that I'm going to use here is simply plain, and that's available as part of the article class. Great. So I'm now going to save that. And I'll just compile it. Let's just make sure it actually works. Exit normals. We see exit with errors, but that's because no citations were given, which is perfect. So I'm now going to cite, put in my citation. So how do we cite the article that we placed inside our Bibtex file? Let me show you. You need to know the Bibtex key. But the beauty about using JabRef, it's very clear. You simply select the required fields, select the entry, now there's only one here, select required fields tab, and then simply copy the Bibtex key. So I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go back to my LaTeX documents, and wherever I want to cite the actual article, I simply move the cursor there and I type /cite, give the cite command, and then within curly braces, I insert the Bibtex key. That's it. So I'm going to save that. Next, we actually have to verify that the cross references have been resolved in our Bibtex file. And to do that, you select Tool and Bibliography from the menu. The shortcut key is F8. That's useful, so remember that. Now it says proceeded with errors. I found no citation command. Okay, maybe I didn't save it. Let me save that there, just to be sure. Myref.bib, perfect. Save, and now I'm going to compile and build. So it's placed the reference, brilliant, and it has the text, but we have an error. So keyboard character used is undefined. I'm glad you see this because I copied the text, as you can see, from Google. And the problem actually is, you see this here, let me highlight it, the comma over my name, that uses a particular format that's different from the format that my computer is using. So just be aware of little things like this. It's fantastic that this is happening now so you can see that. So to fix that, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to delete the comma. Now before I delete it, have a look at it. And then I'm going to place in my comma on my own keyboard and see the way it's different. So let me save that now. Now let me once again go back to my TexStudio document, select Tools, Bibliography, and then Build. And as you can see, it's green, there's no errors, and it perfectly generated our reference, and we have our some text there. This is some text, our citation, and our reference. Perfect. Now let me show you the real power that flows from using an external bibliographic file and JabRef. So you might say, Martin, I'm required for my academic report, whatever it may be, to use the Harvard referencing style, not this style. How do I do it? No problem. Let me show you. So all you would have to do is type use package and then type Harvard. And then you would have to specify the bibliographic file style, should I say, associated with the Harvard style. Now there's 4 different styles, but you might ask, how would I know that? Very good question. How do I know what styles are available with what class and what citation styles? I will tell you as part of the bonus material at the end of this video. But for the moment, I'm going to enter in the AGSM, which is the most common bibliographic style associated with Harvard. Perfect. I'm going to save that. I'm going to satisfy cross-references by running Tools, Bibliography. And there's no errors, great. And then I'm going to generate a file, build and view. And as you can see, perfect. This time we have our text and our citation is in the form of a Harvard citation and our references likewise. Perfect. As you can see, I didn't have to modify my bibliographic entries at all. All I had to do was simply use a particular package and change the bibliographic style. Let me show you one more time. You might say to me, Martin, I'm required to use the IEEE standard for my paper. No problem. So in this case, we will have to change the document class. So I'm going to use the class ITripleE and Tran. Perfect. And we're no longer going to use the Harvard package. Instead, we're going to use the cite package. And lastly, we're going to use the bibliographic style IEEE Tran. So let me save that. Let me resolve all cross-reference issues by selecting Tools and Bibliography, or F8 for short. It exited normally with no errors, perfect. And let me build and view the document. And I have some errors there, I beg your pardon. What mistake am I making? Undefined control item. It says it's picking up the Harvard package, which that has not been resolved. So let me compile and then build and view. No, it's finding references to Harvard. So let me run bibliography again and then build and view. And that's sorted. I'm glad you saw that. Sometimes you have to run it 2 or 3 times to ensure that the previous files generated as a result of a previous compilation had been removed. So now we have, perfect, we have the IEEE format, which is a 2-column format, which is why the reference is over on the left-hand side. So perfect, I've just demonstrated 3 different styles without modifying my bibliographic entries at all. Okay. Great. Now we've come to the bonus section of the video. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to be an expert. And in what way? An expert at citation and managing your references. So remember, I use 3 different styles. I use the article style, I use the Harvard style, and I use the IEEE trans. And in some cases, I use one package, I use Harvard. In this case, with IEEE, I use cite. I also use different bibliographical styles. So you might ask, how could we possibly know these things? How do you know these things? Where would you find out these things? Let me show you exactly. So normally, when you have to write a report or an article or an academic paper, you normally have to write it in a particular style. So I'm going to show you the 3 styles that are most common for my area. I'm in computer science, so ACM, IEEE, and Springer LNCS. So if I want to know how to cite in those, so I'm going to go to Google. So let's start off with the ACM. So you should type in the name of the class document that you're going to write in my case ACM, and then type LaTeX and then package. Just Google that, and the very first entry should be what you're looking for. So in this case, 2017 ACM Master, I'm going to click on that. And the template for ACM is available here. So I'm going to click on the LaTeX version 1.55 and I'm going to download it, select and save. Perfect. I'm going to navigate to my downloads folder and I'm going to extract it. 7-zip extract here. Perfect. It's created a folder. And in here you see sample documents. Perfect. But crucially, go into the samples and you see sample LaTeX documents. This is exactly what you're looking for. So in my case, I would most likely have to write an ACM, say small. That could be one style that I need to use. So let me open up my TexStudio and I'm going to simply drag and drop this in here. And there we go. So here's a LaTeX document formatted perfectly for ACM. So I'm going to simply generate it right now so you can see exactly what it generates. Now this is a larger document. There may be some packages that I have not installed. So they're going to be dynamically installed in the background. That's the settings I've configured in my Bibtex installation. So that's most likely why it's taken a while now. There are certain packages, for example, BookTab here and Algorithm 2E. I may not have downloaded those when I installed my LaTeX installation. So it's currently downloading, installing them, and then it's going to compile and build a document. So I want to keep this in real time so you can see roughly how long it takes. If it takes much longer, I will always pause the video. Okay. Okay, that generated a document. And as you can see, this is the particular document here, so I'm going to scroll through. The beauty is it shows you exactly how to specify titles, authors, abstracts, concepts, additional keywords, reference formats, and the various sections, introduction. These sample documents normally show you the full features of that document class. So even how to type in formulas, algorithms, various notations, graphics, proofs, tables, conclusions, appendix information, and crucially references. And you've all the LaTeX here to show you exactly how to do it. That's fantastic. So let me show you a second example. So I'm now going to look for another format that's very common in my area, and that's LNCS. So again, search for LNCS LaTeX package. Again, the very first option that comes up, LNCS Springer, I'm going to select that. And it's computer science proceedings, as you can see here. Perfect. And I'm going to scroll down and we see templates and sample files. And this is exactly what I'm looking for, the LaTeX 2E proceedings templates. Perfect. So I'm going to select that. I'm prompted to save the file. I'm going to save it. Great. I'm now going to go to Windows Explorer, go back to my downloads folder, and there it is. I'm going to right-click 7-zip extract here, and it creates, oh, I thought it would create a folder. Let me just say right-click 7-zip extract to LNCS folder. That way it's much easier to see what's what. Perfect. These are all the files there. Now, once again, I'm going to open up the sample paper.tech. So let me go there, and why not simply drag and drop. Perfect. And once again, I'm just simply going to select build. Okay, so it's going to attempt to build this paper, and there it is. So this is the sample paper for LNCS, and once again, you see your sample title, author, and it shows all the advanced features, how to put footnotes there, abstracts, keywords, various sections, various different types of headings, tables, graphics, expressions, terms, and how to use references. And it's all the LaTeX here. So this is exactly how you find out. You would read this document. Basically, the sample LaTeX templates that are provided, you would read them and they would tell you as well how to cite and what packages are necessary. And crucially, you can simply look at the LaTeX code and see exactly what they have to figure out what you should do too. And I promised one more, so let me do that now. The other format is the IEEE trans. So let me go to Google, IEEE, TRAN, LaTeX package. I recommend you always type the document class you're looking for, followed by a LaTeX-based package. And again, I'm going to select the very first option, CTAN package, IEEE Tran. And this is it here, the document class for the ITripleE transactions, journals, and conferences. Fantastic. And I'm going to select download the contents in one zip archive. Perfect. So it's going to prompt me to save. I'm going to save that. And once again, I'm going to go to my Windows Explorer. I'm going to right click, 7-zip, extract here. It's created a folder called IEEE Trans. I'm going to go into that. And once again, we have sample documents. So the one that I would probably use is CompSoc. So let me go to TexStudio and let me drag and drop that in here. Perfect. And there's our LaTeX documents. And now let me generate it. So I'm going to select Build and View. And there it is. There's a full sample, a bare demo of the IEEE Trans class file for the IEEE Computer Cited journals. And all it shows you how to use abstracts, index terms, introduction, all the various different types of headings, and so on, and references. There you go. So that's exactly how you find out how to actually cite no matter what format you use. You simply go and Google for the particular class and you download a sample template for that class and you open up the LaTeX file and you see exactly how it's done in the sample file, and you basically, they want you to cut and paste the relevant components into your own documents. So now you should know how to cite and manage your reference using JabRef, which is fantastic, and how to cite them in LaTeX. I've only added one item. If you want, I can add another just to show you, just to finish this off, to show you once again. So we're going to go to Google Scholar. I'm going to search for another article that I've co-authored. So let's select Google Scholar. And the article I'm going to look for is Generating Cubes in, say, Smart City. Okay, hopefully that'll come up with the title. And there is a paper that I co-authored. So that's the paper I want to cite. I select the citer. Once again, it prompts me with the information. I select Bibtex. I then go Control A and Control C to copy. Control A selects all, Control C copies. I go back to JabRef. I then select the new Bibtex entry option here. What option is it again? I just forgot. It's an in proceedings. Perfect. So I select in proceedings. I go to the Bibtex source tab and I once again select it, Control A, but this time Control V to paste in. Perfect. And then go back to required fields. And once again, the same warning as before, names not in standard format. So if I right click, normalize the Bibtex format. Perfect. And once again, I would recommend putting the title inside open and curly braces just so you can preserve the case sensitivity. I'm going to save that. And now to cite it, I simply select the Bibtex key, highlight it, Control C, and then I go to TexStudio. And whereas our document is here, and I can put in another citation here, why not? /cite, Scriney, and then save. Then I'm going to select Tools, Bibliography, just to resolve the issues. Now I may have to do this several times. We saw that happen the last time, but no, it worked perfectly. This is some text, 1, 2, and there's the 2 references. Perfect. That's all I wanted to show you in this video. Thank you. If you enjoyed the video, please like it and leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.